Hi, I'm Miss Jo, and in this video, we'll simplify rational expressions by canceling common factors. We've talked about rational expressions being like fractions, except for instead of numbers, you have a polynomial divided by another polynomial. Like fractions, rational expressions can be simplified. So for example, if I wanted to simplify 8 over 12, I could rewrite this as 4 times 2 over 4 times 3, and I cancel out the common factor of 4 on both the numerator and the denominator. In the same way, rational expressions that have common factors in both the numerator and the denominator can have those factors cancel out to rewrite in a simpler form. Simplest form means that the numerator and denominator have no more common factors. Let's take a look at some examples. In our first example, we're asked to simplify the expression and state the domain for 2x plus 12 over x squared plus x minus 30. To do that, we're going to follow 4 steps. First, I'm going to factor the numerator and the denominator. So I notice that my numerator has a GCF of 2, and if I factor that out, I have an x plus 6. On my denominator, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 30 and add to positive 1. So those numbers would be positive 6 and negative 5, and my factors are going to be x plus 6 and x minus 5. Once I have my denominator factored, I can find the zeros of the denominator. So that's going to be x plus 6 equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0. So my zeros are going to be negative 6 and x equals positive 5. These are the values that make my expression undefined, that make my denominator 0, and I will have to exclude them from my domain. So once I have that, I'm going to cancel any common factors. I see an x plus 6 on the top and on the bottom, so I am left with 2 over x minus 5. And my domain is going to be all x except x equals negative 6 and x equals 5. Let's take a look at a second example. Here we're asked to simplify the expression and state the domain for x squared plus 8x plus 15 over x squared minus x minus 12. First, I'm going to factor the numerator and denominator, and if you need a refresher in factoring, you can check out my video above. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 15 and add to positive 8, so I think that's going to be positive 5 and 3. My factors are x plus 5 and x plus 3. In my denominator, I am looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to negative 1. So I think that's going to be negative 4 and positive 3. So my factors are x minus 4 and x plus 3. I'm going to look for the zeros of my denominator. So x minus 4 is equal to 0, gives me x equals 4. And then x plus 3 equals 0, gives me x is equal to negative 3. So I can actually go ahead and write my domain. So it's all x except x equals 4 and x equals negative 3. And I'm going to cancel out any common factors, which I see the x plus 3 on top and on bottom. So that means I'm left with x plus 5 divided by x minus 4. And even though my new denominator is only x minus 4, because the negative 3 made my original denominator 0, I have to exclude it. Let's summarize. To simplify rational expressions, you want to factor the numerator and the denominator. You want to find the zeros of the original denominator, and these are all the undefined values that will make your original expression 0. You want to cancel any common factors in your numerator and denominator, and your domain will be all x's except the undefined values from step 2.